In an interview with The Nation on Tuesday, Treasury Cabinet Secretary Henry Rotich explained that the money will go towards the Big Four agenda. But he said the government is still waiting for a decision from the World Bank on its request, which has been met by outrage. The loan comes barely after Kenya borrowed $210 billion in another Eurobond. This is a development policy operation by the World Bank. It is being given to many countries. Yes, it is a budgetary support, but we have had to sacrifice our own projects so as to turn it into a budgetary support, Mr. Rotich said. Related slideshow, news and pictures provided by Photo Services. U.S. President Donald Trump is escorted by Japan's Emperor Naruhito during a welcome ceremony at the Imperial Palace in Tokyo, Japan, on May 27, 2019. Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of the UAE Armed Forces, receives Lieutenant General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan Abdul Rahman of Sudan, the presidential airport in Abu Dhabi, UAE on May 26, 2019. Plastic bags seen hanging on branches during a protest called March of Plastic Bags outside the Kiev City Hall in Kiev, Ukraine, on May 26, 2019. Abdul Hafiz Sheikh, finance advisor to Prime Minister Imran Khan, gestures during a press conference, next to Special Assistant to the Prime Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Firdaus Ashiq-Awin, in Islamabad, Pakistan, on May 25, 2019. Venezuela's opposition leader and self-proclaimed interim president Juan Guaido greets supporters at a rally in Carora, Venezuela, on May 25, 2019. Christian Orthodox believers demonstrate near the Romanian Orthodox Patriarchy headquarters in Bucharest, Romania, on May 25, 2019, during a protest against the upcoming visit of Pope Francis to Romania, scheduled from May 31 to June 2. Worshippers pray during the holy fasting month of Ramadan in front of the Kaaba, the cubic building at the Grand Mosque, in the holy city of Mecca, Saudi Arabia, on May 25, 2019. Papua New Guinea Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, and Member of Parliament Julius Chan, attend an event in Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, on May 26, 2019. O'Neill announced his resignation, making way for Julius Chan to return as Prime Minister, local media reported. Migrants line up to get on a police bus after they disembarked from an Armed Forces of Malta patrol boat at its base in Marsamxett Harbour, Valletta, Malta, on May 25, 2019. People demonstrate against a possible legislation reigning in the Supreme Court which could grant Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu immunity from prosecution if he faces corruption charges. In Tel Aviv, Israel, on May 25, 2019. A right-wing protest on the streets of Dortmund, Germany, on May 25, 2019. Relatives of prisoners killed during clashes at a jail in Nicaragua, Venezuela, wait outside a hospital on May 25, 2019. At least 29 prisoners were killed and 19 police personnel wounded in clashes on May 24 as special forces tried to stop a massive prison break. People walk in a market in front of a banner of Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi in Cairo, Egypt, on May 24, 2019. Iraq's President Barham Saleh, meets with Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif in Baghdad, Iraq, on May 25, 2019. Sri Lankan army personnel carry out a special coordinate search operation, 5 weeks after the Easter bomb attacks in Mutegoda, Sri Lanka, on May 25, 2019. Iraqi Kurdish Peshmerga officers take part in a graduation ceremony in the Kurdish town of Sorin, Iraq, on May 25, 2019. People take part in the March for Life, 4th annual anti-abortion march, in Zagreb, Croatia, on May 25, 2019. Zimbabwe's President Emmerson Mnangagwa arrives for the swearing-in ceremony of Cyril Ramaphosa in Pretoria, South Africa, on May 25, 2019. People attend a protest against Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić and his government in Belgrade, Serbia, on May 25, 2019. Latvian Prime Minister Artūrs Krišjānis Kariņš casts his vote during the European Parliament election in Riga, Latvia, on May 25, 2019. A yellow vest protester walks past riot police officers in Paris, France, on May 25, 2019. Yellow vest protests are taking place for the 28th consecutive week to challenge President Emmanuel Macron's economic policies. Presidential candidate Alberto Fernandez of the Unidad Ciudadana Citizen Unity gestures to supporters during a rally in Merlo, in Buenos Aires, Argentina, on May 25, 2019. A man arrives to vote in the European Parliament election at a polling station in Rome, Italy, on May 26, 2019. Mountaineer Cami Rita Sherpa, who broke his own world record for the most Everest summits, waves towards relatives and media after arriving at Tribhuvan International Airport in Kathmandu, Nepal, on May 25, 2019. Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif (4th meets Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan in Islamabad, Pakistan, on May 24, 2019. People marched towards Plaza de Mayo protesting police violence that killed 4 teenagers in San Miguel del Monte, Buenos Aires Province, Argentina, on May 24, 2019. Sadiq al-Kaheli, the interim Speaker of the Libyan Parliament, visits the headquarters of the House of Representatives after it was targeted by a rocket in Tripoli, Libya, on May 24, 2019. Bangladeshi garment workers demonstrate in Dhaka, Bangladesh, on May 24, 2019. Different garments workers' organization staged a demonstration to demand salary increases and a festival bonus. Before Eid al-Fitr, students protest President Jair Bolsonaro's environmental policies in front of the National Congress in Brasilia, Brazil, on May 24, 2019. Russia's Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev and Belarus Prime Minister Saryar Hirumas shake hands during a meeting in Moscow, Russia, on May 24. U.S. President Donald Trump leaves the Oval Office to speak to the media before boarding Marine One for Japan at the White House in Washington, D.C., U.S., on May 24, 2019. Worshippers attend the third weekly Friday sermon and prayers during the holy month of Ramadan at a mosque in Khartoum, Sudan, on May 24, 2019. UN High Commissioner for Refugees Filippo Grandi speaks during an interview with AFP in Yangon, Myanmar, on May 24, 2019. Student protesters hold up placards and shout slogans during the Global Strike for Future demonstration aiming to spark world leaders into action on climate change near the Cabinet of Ministers in Kiev, Ukraine, on May 24, 2019. Czech Prime Minister Andrej Babis casts his ballot during the European Parliament election at a polling station in Prague, Czech Republic, on May 24, 2019. Venezuelan opposition leader and self-proclaimed interim President Juan Guaido speaks during plenary to present his National Reconstruction Project country plan in Caracas, Venezuela, on May 24, 2019. Security officials examine the site of a blast at a mosque on the outskirts of Quetta, Pakistan, on May 24, 2019. Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif meets Pakistani Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi in Islamabad, Pakistan, on May 24, 2019. Iraqi followers of Shiite Muslim cleric Muqtada al-Sadr wave national flags and raise protest signs against involvement in any conflict between Iran and the United States in Baghdad, Iraq, on May 24, 2019. Croatia's Prime Minister Andrej Plenković gives a speech during the last pre-European elections meeting of the European People's Party in Munich, Germany, on May 24, 2019. Lithuanian presidential candidate, economist Gitanas Nausėda and his wife Diana Nausėda arrived to cast their ballots during an early vote, 2 days ahead of the second round of Presidential election in Vilnius, Lithuania, on May 24, 2019. Smoke plumes billow following reported Syrian government forces bombardment in the southern countryside of the largely jihadist-controlled region of Idlib, Syria, on May 24, 2019. Muslims gather after Friday noon prayers to remember the victims of Sri Lanka Easter bombings and to protest against the terrorist group who is responsible for the suicide attacks at Masjid Yusufia Mosque in Negombo, Sri Lanka, on May 24, 2019. Turkish Youth and Sports Minister Mehmet Muharrem Kasapoglu and Serbian Sports Minister Vanja Udovičić hold a press conference after their meeting in Belgrade, Serbia, on May 24, 2019. Pope Francis meets H.E. Sveta Valcheva Karayanchova, President of the National Assembly of Bulgaria, in Vatican City on May 24, 2019. Dacian Cholos, former Romanian Prime Minister and EU Commissioner for Agriculture, representing the 2020 USR Plus alliance, addresses a European Parliament elections rally in Bucharest, Romania, on May 24, 2019. Members of Jewish communities rebury the remains of Jews killed by the Nazis at the Severnoye Northern Cemetery in Brest, Belarus, on May 22, 2019. The remains of hundreds of prisoners of a former Jewish ghetto were discovered on a construction site. Authors Mario Vargas Llosa, L., and Luis Alberto de Cuenca, R., attend Nobel Prize Dialogue Madrid 2019, The Future of Aging, organized by Ramon Arraices Foundation in Madrid, Spain, on May 22, 2019. L.R. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, India's Minister of External Affairs Sushma Swaraj and Pakistan's Minister for Foreign Affairs Shah Mahmood Qureshi attend a meeting of the SCO. Shanghai Cooperation Organization Council of Foreign Ministers in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, on May 22, 2019. A man walks past the site of an airstrike on a market in the town of Ma'man, Syria, on May 22, 2019. At least a dozen people were killed and 18 others wounded in overnight strikes, according to the Britain-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. Fighters loyal to the Libyan Government of National Accord (GNA) gesture near the front line during clashes against forces loyal to Khalifa Haftar on May 21, 2019, near the Libyan capital of Tripoli. A Ugandan LGBT refugee couple talks as they anticipate Kenya's High Court ruling on anti-gay laws in Nairobi, Kenya, on May 21, 2019. A voter leaves a booth at a polling station during the advanced presidential elections in Vilnius, Lithuania, on May 21, 2019. The second round of presidential vote will take place on May 26. Demonstrators clash with police forces in Tanah Abang wholesale market in Jakarta, Indonesia, on May 22, 2019, as part of protests rejecting the results of the 2019 presidential election. A man carries a jerrycan as he walks past a service station showing old prices after the government hiked diesel and petrol rates, in Marondera, Zimbabwe, on May 21, 2019. Acting U.S. Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan, L., and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo speak to the media after a classified briefing for members of Congress on Iran, in Washington, D.C. U.S. on May 21, 2019. The new European Games medals are unveiled at the Mir Castle complex in Belarus on May 21, 2019, a month prior to the event. People light candles while praying in front of St. Sebastian's Church, one of the churches attacked in the Easter bombings, during the first month remembrance service in Negombo, Sri Lanka. On May 21, 2019. A supporter of Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro holds a sign reading, "Trump out from Latin America," while security force members stand guard near the National Assembly building in Caracas, Venezuela, on May 21, 2019. Chinese tourists walk past a QR code for Chinese digital wallets displayed on a street in Kathmandu, Nepal, on May 21, 2019. Nepal banned popular Chinese digital wallets Alipay and WeChat to prevent the loss of foreign currency earnings from thousands of Chinese tourists. Former President and Prime Minister of the Czech Republic Václav Klaus speaks at a Brexit Party campaign event in London, England, on May 21, 2019. President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky, in blue shirt, attends a meeting with lawmakers in Kiev, Ukraine, on May 21, 2019. Indonesia's incumbent President Joko Widodo and his running mate Maruf Amin gesture after addressing the public following the announcement of the last month's presidential election results at a rural area of Jakarta, Indonesia, on May 21, 2019. Former South African President Jacob Zuma looks on in the High Court in Pietermaritzburg, South Africa, on May 21, 2019, during his trial for alleged corruption. People prepare to cast their votes near Blantyre, Malawi, on May 21, 2019. A Sri Lankan Air Force soldier stands guard at the entrance of St. Joseph's Catholic School, as it reopened a month after the Easter bomb attacks in Colombo, Sri Lanka, on May 21, 2019. It doesn't add to debt because we cancelled some projects. If a project is slow-moving and say there are other challenges, instead of losing the money, let us convert them into budgetary support and implement, he added. He said the money will go towards agriculture, universal healthcare, manufacturing and housing sectors. President Mwai Kibaki's government kept away from this type of credit that the Jubilee administration has now revived. We have not been in it for a while, but we decided to use it. It is quicker, more effective and money reaches where it is intended as opposed to project-based. We are avoiding too many projects, Mr. Ritich said. Amani National Congress Party leader Musalia Mudavadi has hit out at the Jubilee administration over its high appetite for borrowing billions of shillings, which only end up in the pockets of a few individuals. Mr. Mudavadi, in what he called State of the Nation address, expressed concern over rising public debt caused by the government's borrowing spree, which has left Kenyans with higher taxes to repay the loans. Public debt. Mr. Mudavadi challenged the government to account for every shilling it has borrowed and show development projects that have been put up with the funds. Figures from the Central Bank of Kenya (CBK) as of September last year indicated that the public debt was just 5.1 trillion, with Mr. Mudavadi claiming that most of the money cannot be accounted for. How long will this reckless borrowing without accountability go on? The Jubilee government and their partners must now tell Kenyans the true level of their country's indebtedness and the detailed terms and conditions around each debt. Kenyans have a right to know, Mr. Mudavadi said. He challenged President Uhuru Kenyatta to use the forthcoming Madaraka Day celebrations to provide a clear roadmap on where the country is headed and comprehensively address the rising public debt menace. Accountability. He said there has been remarkable misrule and abuse of institutions where state officers steal billions of shillings by hiding money in their respective budgets. The state has been largely dysfunctional, and especially now, our country seems to be in a free fall at the behest of robber barons that have invaded the government. Mr. Mudavadi said, "We are seeing a country that is over-borrowing so as to satisfy the greedy appetite of a few thieves. Our country is adequately resourced to feed everyone's needs, but it does not have enough resources to feed everyone's greed," he added. In a bid to reduce the government appetite for loans, Mr. Mudavadi said Parliament should establish an independent public debt management authority to manage present debts and future borrowing. When we wrestled independence from the colonial master, the objective was not to run down our country. The intention was to build a thriving nation with equal opportunities, Mr. Mudavadi said. Mr. Mudavadi called on President Kenyatta to sack cabinet secretaries who have been associated with stealing from public coffers.